turn the sound on. Turn the red light on. Oh, you signed. Did you sign? Oh, okay.
I think they kind of, they're not really conversant.
Just those three are. Neither one? Okay. Okay, it's okay.
All right, welcome everyone to the Board of Supervisors meeting. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just as a reminder, before we get into public comment, to make sure that when you are speaking for your public comment that you are addressing the Board of Supervisors. So we will start with public comment, and first is Paula.
I want to thank Jen for all the years that she gave up to the Gregg Township people. I enjoyed interacting with her on a professional level when I was at RDA Systems. I was lucky and got to retire. And now I enjoyed interacting with Jen here on a personal level whenever we would come into the office. I wish you all the best, and thank you.
Catherine.
Evening. Two comments, each one ending with a request. So, can you hear me? No. Okay, I've been told that I talk like I don't want anybody to hear me, and there's some truth to that. So raise your hand if you can't hear me. I'll try better. But addressing the supervisors, I still want to be heard. My first comment is I thought the December 7th Southern Daily Times article on the town hall meeting missed the point, although Supervisor Miller stated it in opening the meeting. The point that, or I'll say my point, it concerns me, that township government functions are being overwhelmed, and the township's general welfare is at risk in the present climate of serial right to know requests. And Miller outlined the financial, human, and service impacts. Again, with my focus, I have another impact in mind, and I'd like to comment on it publicly. I really hate to see a situation in which free-flowing information and exchange and discussion of that information is getting harder. We don't need anything that makes it harder. It's hard enough to begin with. And I hope we can continue with that or resume it. So I know I'm addressing this to the supervisors, so I'm making the public statement to you that in that spirit of open discussion, I would ask the most frequent right-to-know requesters, Michelle and Casey Groves, to answer two questions in a public comment to Gregg Township residents. And use the forum of the public comment, which is a safe space to say what's on your mind. The two questions, from me anyway. Given that township records are already public, what is the real reason for your requests? And I very much, I just want to say as an aside, freedom of information matters a lot to me, and public access to government matters a lot. And I just can't get a sense of what the reason is for the request. The explanations aren't ever clear enough to me, so I would love to have in this particular forum a clearer explanation. And the second request I would make to requesters, but particularly the most common, frequent requesters, what have you done with the information received? According to the CDT article, posting it on a personal website is mentioned. That's really not the intent of right to know law, as I understand it. And in my asking for the purpose and the use, I do know these are not legal requirements of the right to know law, but I think it's our civil right to know the answers. The civil society matters as much as legal procedures that we operate in. That's what the legal procedures are supposedly for, is to sustain the civil society. But that's all on that point. My second comment, in the December 6th town hall meeting, this one is practical. I asked if a mediator could help us address the fundamental problem, whatever it is, underlying the intensity of right to know requests. Several other Gregg Township residents have told me in the meantime that they have the same idea. Could we get some help with understanding what's going on here? And so we are glad to report tonight that mediation is an option if all parties involved are willing. So I asked the supervisors to contact the Center for Alternatives in Community Justice in State College, which provides mediation services to nonprofit organizations, municipalities, individuals, families. Please contact them regarding their services and fees for the information. The center's website, which I give you here, explains the services. And according to the executive director, Bonnie Milmore, whom I talked to this afternoon, fee reimbursement can be negotiated. And there may be public funds available. So here's contact information for the Center for Alternatives in Community Justice. And I ask you to get in touch and find out what they're about. Thank you. I have copies since the contact information is here. Save you time and me an email, so I have a copy of my comment for each other and for the township. Thank you for the time and for listening. Did you hear me?
Next is Joel.
There's one right here.
I'll try not to take too much time here. As you folks know, I was on the board for actually 7 years. I filled in at 1 year, and I was on it for 6 years until Perry took over last year. And I want to say those beginning of my first few years, we had really no leadership in terms of the secretary, treasurer. We had some part-time folks that filled in and did the best they could. But such a difference when we hired Jen, and I'm proud to be on the board that when we hired Jen, and such a difference when we had someone dedicated and someone working full-time to serve the residents of our township. So I just want to comment that, and we started doing things, and most of you were probably at the town hall meeting, and Carrie did a good job of highlighting what's happened just this past year even, and I feel they've moved much further than we had when I was on the board. So I'm very happy about that and pleased with that. I guess the only negative thing I can reflect back on is I really enjoyed this job for the first 6 years as being a supervisor. It was fun. I was having an opportunity to give back to the community that I spent most of my life in, and I really enjoyed it. And then there came the 7th year, and it was kind of went the other direction. So I just wanted to pass that on, and I want to wish Jen the best in her future, and I want to wish the Board of Supervisors and all those involved the best that they can do too. And I also want to comment, David came, this is your 2nd year, I think, David, right? Yes. Sometimes it seems like more, sometimes less, but I want to compliment you too on supporting the board through a lot of things that were tough things to do, so thank you.
Any other public comment? Sure, you state your name and where you're from.
Hello, my name is Hobson McCown. I currently reside in Ferguson Township, and I'm working to acquire property in Gregg Township. I wanted to speak today because some interesting case law certainly comes from Gregg Township, as well as administrative decisions through the Office of Open Records and the courts. And it's because I work across Pennsylvania making records requests with their common law records, open records, and otherwise, I frequently run into similar behaviors in other municipalities, townships, boroughs, cities, counties, Commonwealth departments, where there is an obstinance in providing public records. And it should be understood that the right to know law is an act passed by the General Assembly, and the place to complain is to one's senator and representative of our General Assembly if there is an issue with the right to know law. We've had the right to know law and the right to know act before it for over 70 years, I believe. This is not new. And it presumes that an agency is aware of what records they have and keep what records they are supposed to. In fact, it also gives the ideal situation that the records become computerized and regularly accessible so that there is not the arduous undertaking of discovering what records are available, what the requester wants, and actually providing those records lawfully. I reviewed the recent town hall video, and I just wanted to speak a moment about the emotions that are created as a result of right to know requests and trying to enforce that process. What I suggest is that if you have negative feelings related to your employment and that you feel harassed by being asked to do your job, that you begin by accepting those feelings and then you commit to be public officials or resign and join the community of your citizens who will welcome you back. And this is the same message I deliver to other agencies across the state. Follow the law or step aside to let someone who will. I have to wonder if anyone here has offered to be the next open records officer, or if there was an opportunity to reassign that position to someone else if it could not be handled as currently assigned. And if that has not been done, there is a major question as to why. And I implore everyone here to consider offering their support in facilitating access to public records. If it's costing money, then why aren't people stepping forward to act rather than simply speaking about it, bemoaning it, complaining, which is easy to do, sometimes enjoyable, but it does not get the job done that everyone says that they want to get done. I personally, in the course of trying to make right to know requests in other municipalities, faced physical assault as a result of merely trying to collect, for example, serial numbers to make a request about specific objects and the monies paid to acquire them. Now, this was in another county, but I was thrown out of a county building for merely trying to collect those numbers. It is important that
Hobson, you have 1 minute.
we prevent something like trying to investigate and publish information from turning into something that causes violence, which is quite uncalled. I think it's fairly simple. Do the job or step aside. Follow the law, or say that you're simply not and you are trying to start a new government altogether and you're seceding from Pennsylvania. You have those two choices. If you feel that you're overburdened by what the General Assembly has passed, then you need to address the General Assembly. It's not something that can be taken care of here through meeting after meeting after meeting. It won't be. Get your records in order, make them highly available, and it won't cost money.
Thank you, Hobson. Your
Now-
time's up.
Thank you.
you're against winners, people winning in Commonwealth and Supreme Court, and I don't think you want to keep
Any
on
other
trying to
public
lose money.
comment? Any other comment before we move on? Okay. Move on to liaison reports. First, we have solicitors report.
No.
Emergency management coordinator.
Yeah, I'm not going to walk up there. I don't have anything to say on that, but I'd just like to say that Jen did an awful lot of work, and I thank her on the work that she's done, that we were able, during a disaster and after, to recoup some money from ditches, roads, and everything else for the supervisor. Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
Gregg Township Fire Company.
I'm Scott Breon, I'm the chief of Gregg Township Fire Company, for those that don't know me. Since the last meeting, we've had 15 calls. Actually, in the last 3.5 weeks, we've had 15 calls. 2 of those mutual aid calls unfortunately resulted in fatalities. Be careful driving. December 15th, we're going to have brunch with Santa at the fire hall at 10 a.m. Breakfast items and whatnot. If you have children, hopefully you can come enjoy that with us. On the 23rd, we're going to have Santa Claus come into town. We're going to bring him around town on a fire truck, probably about the same route that we use for distributing Halloween candy, and he will have candy. Bingo is going to resume on January 18th. We didn't want to do it this month because we felt that we should not be taking your Christmas money. We are working on the plans to replace the truck shed on the east side of the building. We should have our plans drawn by the end of the month, and we are going to try to get with our local lumber yards and contractors and see how much help we can get donated to build that thing. There's not enough hoagie meat in the world about to sell enough to build that shed. So it's going to take some miracles. Hopefully we can pull through and get a lot of donations for the materials to build that. That'll be great. The air packs, we were, in case you guys are unaware, the 4 Penn Valley fire companies were awarded about a $650,000 grant. We are all going to get brand new air packs, which is a blessing because ours are just about out of date. So as far as Gregg Township goes, we're going to get 16 packs, 16 packs, and 1 extra bottle per pack, so that's 32 bottles. And we're going to have 26 masks. That way each interior firefighter can have their own mask, because trust me, you do not want to share a mask with an interior firefighter. We are adopting 5 families for Christmas this year. It's something new that we're doing. We're asking our local businesses if they could donate for that for us. We're going to provide gifts and such for needy children whose parents can't quite make it over the holidays, and hopefully we can provide a nice Christmas for them. If anybody would like to donate to that, you can see me, Charles, or any member. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Scott did give us a letter regarding the donations. We do have the donation line, which has not been used from this year. So, anyone wants to make a motion to make a donation from the donation line?
I would make that motion. I feel we should, and that would help the community. What kind of numbers do we have to work with?
Well, we have 2,000 online. I don't know. We haven't used any, so.
I would make a motion to spend $500.
Okay, I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion?
I have none at this point.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
For the workers' compensation renewal, we're changing from the state workers' compensation, which is going to save us some money. And I need a list of all active fire department members and their dates of birth, and also the same with the ambulance. All volunteer ambulance personnel and their dates of birth. So if you can get me that, that would be great.
I have a question for Scott. We're starting to look at electrical rates again, and as you know, the fire company's been part of the township negotiating electrical rates, water and sewer, township, Old Gregg School, and so on. Who is keeping the copies of your electrical bills? I need to get.
Should be Shenley.
He still has those?
Yeah,
Okay.
should be Shenley.
Okay, I'll check with him.
Yep. Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
Okay, Old Gregg School, Jim?
We don't have too much on it. The advisory board met and agrees and supports your 2019 meetings. The board continues to have problems with people not signing in at the gym or paying their $2 in amusement. We welcome ideas as to how to remedy this situation. The preliminary accounting for the Winter Craft Fair held this past Saturday, December 8th, was around $1,510.50. And cookbooks are still available for sale. The price is $10. You can get them at the Township office, Burkholder's, Thompson Pharmacy, and the Penn Valley Pharmacy.
It's actually $20 more came in, so $15.30.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Physical plant manager?
Yeah, I've completed 5 leases for our tenants. I have one to do yet. That's the Penn Valley Community Church. I need feedback from them on how long they want the term of their lease to be. I've started cleaning range hood fillers. They're greasy. We got a new range last week. It's a gas range. We may need to put fire suppression system in for the range hood. Let's see, Darren Arbor also suggested to me today that we put a fire extinguisher near the range, so I'll need to take a look at that.
But even if you get the new suppression system, you're still gonna be under the $5,000 that you already got approved for the whole range, correct?
Yeah.
Because there is a
Well, I think
donation
so.
coming
No,
from the
I
church.
don't have an estimate on
Okay.
the suppression system. Somebody from Schwartz Fire Equipment is supposed to come and talk to me about
Right.
that, but they haven't yet. Yeah. That's all I have on that subject.
Operations manager?
Well, I'm just still, concerned about the scheduling. I guess it's gonna have to transition over to somebody until somebody else is hired. That's gonna be a challenge, just to keep up with that again. That's about it.
Do you want to take over
Yeah,
scheduling?
yeah. Yes.
All right, anything else for old Gregg?
No, nothing at this point.
No.
Penn Valley Code Enforcement Agency. I don't see Mike. We all saw his report. Any comments on the report?
I have none.
Okay. Penn Valley EMS.
Good evening. I wanted to let you know the results of the membership drive. Although we were aiming for 3,000, which would have been a sustainable amount for the EMS, we only received 1,736 memberships. But even though I say only, that's still an improvement from last year. So thank you for everybody who purchased their membership. And if you still have not done so, they are still available. In donations, we received $13,323. We also received a $10,000 donation from the Center Hall American Legion, which we greatly appreciated. That ceremony was in early November, I believe on the 9th. It was a Friday afternoon. Our chief, who is stepping down, Jason Brooks, in his last couple of months, he was able to secure a grant in the amount of $1,100 from the Ruth E. Rischel Charitable Fund. This money will be used for reflective vests, backup cameras, and flashlights for our EMS. Recently, there was a publication that I think the supervisors all received, but it's called the PA Fire and EMS Commission SR6 Final Report. And it talked about the woes across the Commonwealth for rural EMS and fire departments. I think if there's a silver lining, it's that Penn Valley EMS isn't alone in its strife. That if anything, we've based on the proactiveness and the response of our community, we're kind of leading the charge for a change. Our annual EMS sticky and hoagie, thank you to Gregg Township Fire Department, sale will be the first Saturday of April every year from now on. This year it will be April 6th. If you'd like to volunteer, please contact me. There has been joint municipal meetings taking place to kind of brainstorm and talk about how Penns Valley is going to get through this period of time where the legislation is against us for billing. The next meeting, in case anybody's interested, because I know there was mention at the town hall about wanting to talk more about EMS, will be in January. It's on Martin Luther King Day. It's at 7 p.m. As far as our collections go, I think you may recall that we used to use a collection agency, which we had to pay for, who actually didn't do a good job. So EMS itself took that over. Since October 2017, we have collected $33,922.05 from accounts that were in arrears. The money still to be paid, which has gone to judgment, is $59,246.11. So please know that we are vigilant in our accounts receivables and trying to obtain judgments through the court system to enforce the paying of those debts. Over the past year, we have a kind of a pie chart for you guys that I try to give you every month. But over the past year, we have billed, the majority of our billings has been to Medicare patients, as you'll recall. That is a lower fee structure based on the legislation. We have obtained $167,429, and again, that's our biggest percentage at 57%. Then comes in Medicaid and commercial at 22.9%, just so you know where the breakdown of the income is coming from. And in the last month, there have been 58 responses from the EMS, 40 of which we were able to treat patients, not all of which wanted transportation though. So as you know, we can't bill unless we transport. Of those 58 calls, 10 were to Gregg Township, which came in second only after Potter Township, which received 18. And John, I have all the minutes.
Oh, good, because I lost you a little bit about.
Question for you.
Yes,
The new law that was passed that we'll sign, that originated, I think, is House Bill 1013. Has there been any looking into what changes that has been in terms of generating additional billing for the EMS?
in true legislative action, it's a tad ambiguous, and it has to be tested. And it doesn't mean that we'll still be able to collect, but we're waiting for the rules and regulations for that statute to come down.
In looking at where we are for 2018 in terms of funds coming in and out this year, and working with Jen on what additional revenue still will come in this year, as well as what bills still need to be paid, we should end up somewhere between $30,000 to $40,000 in a positive for this year.
What she means is in the checking account.
In the checking
Not
account.
budgetary wise, in the checking account.
So I would like to make a motion that we give $10,000 out of the checking account as for 2018 for next year for the EMS to start to make up the rest of our $500,000 that the LST will not additionally generate. So out of the funds from this year.
Yeah, I'll make the motion. I will second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous.
So just let me explain what we're talking about that. And then if you're looking at your sheet, the $72,000 that we have in our checking account actual right now, of that $72,000, $32,000 is committed to the Dirt and Gravel Road Grant Project on Veneta Gap. So that's included in our checking account. So really we have about $50,000 in here. We have, we have another payroll. We have our SWIFT fund still has to pay $6,000 to $7,000. We still have a couple. We should get about $20,000 in earned income tax by the end of the year. And so with all the with all that, like I said, we're projecting between 30 and 40 left over. And we always worry about making it till May when we get our real estate taxes. But if you pay the $10,000 now, you may have to borrow a little bit from your savings like we do every year, and then pay it back when the May real estate tax comes in. So that's why this looks high right now. And that's because that 32,000 is dedicated to the Banana Gap project. That's already included in here as a liability to pay the expenses for that project. If that makes sense.
I think because of the situation and where the money's going, I think it's well worth the risk at this
Sure.
point.
I just wanted to make sure you understood what that
I mean,
number
my point
represented.
is, we're gonna benefit the whole community. That's my comment.
Right, that's why I suggested it. So, 10,000, if we generate the 12,000 from the LST, then we can look at
Right.
further towards the end of the year and see where we are for the remainder of that half-mil equivalent. Penns Valley Regional Planning Commission?
Penns Valley Regional Planning Commission met on the 19th of November. We had an update from the Center County Metropolitan Planning Organization on a long-range transportation plan. Of particular interest to Gregg Township is the Lower Georges Valley Bridge, which is now closed, will be bid for construction in March of 2019. So that's coming along. We're also looking at our comprehensive plan. We're required to do a review of that comprehensive plan every 10 years, and we're looking at that. Another thing that came up was the Penns Valley Regional Planning Commission needs a $50 donation from each municipality for its treasury. I don't know if you want to make a motion. We make a motion for $50, or just go ahead on that.
I think we've done that before. I'll make the motion that we do the $50.
Okay, I will second the motion.
Any further discussion?
Not here.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. Anything else?
No.
I think we have a line item for that, don't we?
Thought we did.
Well,
Might not be.
donation line. Anyway.
Planning Commission?
Nothing new to report.
Prime Municipal Park. Joel, do you have a report, or you just want us to?
I don't really have a report. You have several items on there that need to be dealt with. I would say that we're coming into the part of the year now where construction is as far as we can get. The two athletic fields are they're multi-purpose athletic fields have been upgraded, and they will be finished in the spring as soon as we get weather commensurate with doing our final grading. And so we've really shut down for the winter up there. We are looking for volunteers to serve in various capacities to help support the park. And anyone interested can contact Gary or contact me, I guess. So I think the other things are self-explanatory unless you have a question for me.
I do. Has the park received all the PennBest funding at this point?
All of it's been billed. All
Okay.
has been invoiced for this year.
Okay,
So we are finished for this year.
okay. I received an email from Tess at PennBest today. It was something, I'll forward it to you.
Okay.
There's a new system for distributing funds. It simplifies the funds disbursement process, et cetera. She wanted to teach me
I would talk.
for the park, but I'm
Well, I
not.
would talk with Beth about that,
Yeah.
although Beth, I think, is stepping down for that as well, so there's,
Okay,
but I would contact her on that.
okay. I'll forward it to you.
Okay. Well, I just signed co-signed those checks, and I just co-signed the final check for this work for this year that would be the PennBest payments, so that's closed out until next spring.
Okay. Well, maybe if it's so easy, we won't have to get all sorts of training on it.
I don't think so.
We hope.
Joel has provided a letter of work that he has done in kind on behalf of Gregg Township for the Tri-Municipal Park. So we just need to make a motion to approve that in-kind donation to submit to the Tri-Park for their record keeping, as they're keeping track of municipalities in kind. So I'll entertain a motion to approve in-kind donation from Joel Myers on behalf of Gregg Township.
How much is it? What's the total?
It's right there. Isn't this what we're using as, instead of having to pay money towards the park donation, or?
In essence, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
How
I'll
much
make
was
a
it?
motion. We make-
$1,055?
Yes, correct. I'll make a motion, we donate this in-kind work. I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion?
Thanks,
Not here.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous.
thanks, Joel.
Lisa Croner submitted her, yes, thanks, Joel.
Thank you.
Motion to accept the letter of resignation for Lisa Croner from the Tri-Park Inc. Board.
I'll make the motion. I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
No, not here.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. For the Tri-Park, each municipality of the 3 municipalities has 3 people on the Tri-Park Inc. board. One is a elected official, and then 2 others. So I'm the elected official on that board, and Joel is one of the other members. And so with Lisa's resignation, there is a spot now available on that Tri-Park Inc. board. If you are interested in being on that board and helping with that project, if you want to submit an interest letter to the township, just stating that you are interested, what experience you have, and why you're interested in being on that board. This way, when we have our reorganizational meeting in January, we can appoint a new member to that board. And then to finish out our commitment to the Center Foundation Fund for the Tri-Park, which had to reach $10,000. We are the last that still have to pay the $500. And that finishes out our commitment for the Center Foundation Fund. So I need a motion to pay the $500 out of the recreation donation line item for the Tri-Park.
I'll make the motion, we do that.
I would like to, but I cannot support that. I'd rather see the money stay here locally.
Okay, just so you understand, we legally
I
have
understand.
to put that money in
Yeah.
there. I'll second that motion. Any further discussion?
Not here.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 2-1. Anything else on Tri-Park? Water and Sewer Authority.
The sewer only had end of your business on, and on nothing new to report there. On the water had a major leak this week, and that was along Route 45. That was repaired without incident, and it's functioning well. And speaking for the authorities, I just wish to say we appreciate all the work we've done with Jen. It's been very competent and very much appreciated. Any questions?
No? Thank you. Secretary Treasurer's Report. I will entertain a motion to approve the November 14th, 2018 Board of Supervisors meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
No, I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. I'll entertain a motion to approve the November 28th, 2018 special meeting minutes.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. I'll entertain a motion to approve the December 5th, 2018 Town Hall meeting minutes.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. I'll entertain a motion to accept the financial report.
I'll make that motion to accept that.
I will second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Anything else for your Secretary Treasurer report? Anything for the Right to Know Officer report? Roadmasters report?
I don't really have a lot. Since last month, we pretty much plowed a little bit of snow, did a little bit of salting, tried to put some snow fence out, but that's been a challenge with the mud. We did work on cutting some ash trees down. Residents have asked us to help with or do whatever we can to make them not fall on the road at an inconvenient time. So if there's anybody out there that needs any help with ash trees that are going to fall on the road, or you think they're going to fall on the road, get a hold of us. We'll try and help you if we can. We finished up our sign replacement that's mandated by PennDOT, Maple Lane, Klein Road, and Fire Hall Road. Those are all up. new. Today, Carrie and I met with PennDOT at the Muddy Creek Bridge. I don't know that we really gained a whole lot of information other than that construction should be started and hopefully finished in 2019.
Right. They said that
You might have to pave it.
the final paving may not be done until 2020, but it will be open to the public at the end of 2019.
Without any complications or issues. There were some utility issues with wires and cranes. I guess PennDOT's busy. So they asked us if we could cut some trees down around there. We started Mount Markham, show us what to do. We said we could do that when we can to try and help keep the process going. Other than that,
Do you have an idea of the date that they may start?
The let date is March.
March, okay.
you can't be in the creek, I don't think, until after.
Right.
So I think the trees have to be cut before March because of bats or something. I don't know.
Something like that.
That's it for me.
I don't know if you want to appoint somebody else as a rep to no officer, or do we just fall back on the assistant until somebody's hired? That was the only thing I forgot to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. When we get to the
Okay. I
to
just
the
was thinking.
transition,
Okay, that's fine.
remind me then if I don't say it.
All right.
Anything else for road master?
Still going. Got it going still.
Unfinished business. We have to approve the 2019 annual budget. I do have one change to the budget that was advertised. When the insurance was calculated and put into the budget, the employee contribution was not taken out of that number. So I would like to reduce that line item, if I can find it,
Not that there's
to
anything wrong
to
with going
70.
high. So what if you go low?
to 70,000 from, I think it's at 73 something. Right now it's at 73,800, the last page of the general fund. So reducing that to 70,000.
So that reduces your negative number to 6,035 as your deficit for the budget. It's not really a deficit. I mean, you're going to be using
Carryover.
right. I mean, it's not like you're balancing. It will change this draft budget, the combined budget, to a year-end balance of $333,250 with that change made. So the total all budgeted funds, your year-end balance in December would be $333,250. And make the general fund column 63,965 as the end total. But that didn't change that budget with, you can't, if we would have had to re-advertise it, because the 10% that has, it's not even near that, so we won't have to re-advertise or anything to make that change.
Any other budget comments?
No, I understand.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2019 annual budget with the change of reducing the health insurance to 70,000.
Can you call it an amended budget?
2019 amended annual budget.
I'll make the motion to approve the 2019 amended budget. I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion?
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Penns Valley EMS funding, we've already discussed that. Any further comments on that? Jen and I were talking about training for businesses for implementing the LST tax, and what's the agency?
Center Tax Agency.
Center
At
Tax
the State College
Agency.
Borough Office.
And the State College Borough Office will be putting on a training, February possibly.
I'm not sure.
So if there's any businesses in Gregg Township who are wondering how they're going to implement the LST tax, we'll definitely get that information to you for that date whenever we have it.
They said if you have any questions, you can certainly call it there. They're reserving the building for open house here for earned income tax, and they're not going to kick out any employers that comes to, and I've actually forgotten that date. I think it's February 19th, but that will be a possibility if you have questions.
Township map, still just need to finish that draft. Telecommunications facility ordinance was moved to planning commission, and they are working on that still. The writ of mandamus case, we have a court date for the 28th of December. New business, we need a motion to advertise retroactively for the secretary treasurer's position.
I'll make a motion to advertise retroactively for the secretary treasurer position.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion?
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. That position was advertised along with the road crew position. What day was it advertised?
I've tried to talk everybody that applies for the road crew to apply for the secretary's job. I haven't gotten
It was
that.
advertised sometime this week, and it will be advertised again on Sunday. It's also been
Yeah.
put,
They're due back the 21st.
it's also been put on the website and on social media. Motion to accept resignation of Jennifer Snyder as full-time employee.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
We also do need to make a motion to retain Jennifer Snyder as a part-time employee to help with transition, training, payroll, and as well as the court.
You should finish the motion.
Oh, I didn't finish that motion.
I think so.
I don't really want to finish it.
Just do it so I can get it over
Okay,
with.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. Now a motion to retain Jennifer Snyder as a part-time employee.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
Well, how long do you feel it would be?
Well, she'll have to stay on as long as the court stuff goes on. As far as payroll, that's until we
Okay.
get somebody on that can do that. I certainly don't know how to do that. Office hours.
Wait, you need to make a motion. I mean, you need to add,
No, we did it.
you didn't say.
All those in favor?
Whatever.
Aye.
Part-time.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimous.
I do have one question. I want to have an audit done of the books before somebody else takes over the books. I mean, I know I can lock QuickBooks so that nobody can touch the books until they're audited. I think that's a possibility. But we also have to do the annual audit, so it can probably be done, I mean, I guess it would be the same thing, but I don't want somebody to come in and change something. I mean, I don't want to take that risk. So we probably need to get that done sooner than later, and I would be more than willing to come back to assist with the audit, or however you want to do that. I'm just
When
leaving
is
that
the
up to you.
audit normally?
Well, she's usually pretty good. She always likes me to go first because I'm usually the most prepared for it. I don't know if that's going to be the case this time, but
So we just need to contact them and see.
I emailed them today to see if that's I think it's a common practice for them to audit the books before somebody takes over, and so I would like to see that happen before. So how do you want me to go about that? Do you have any ideas of that, David, or?
No.
Okay.
No bright ideas anyway. I would see what she's comfortable doing.
Okay. How is this handled? I mean,
I'm trying to think, I don't know, you don't need a full audit. I mean, you want a comprehensive audit, but you don't need a full.
just like probably the end of the year audit would be fine. But I'm just saying, do you want that to happen before somebody takes over, or?
It's not going to happen in that time frame. Let me think about
Okay.
it.
All right, so discussion on what's going to occur during that transition period. Doug said he's gonna do old grade school scheduling. I can receive the emails and phone calls. I am currently the alternate Office of Open Records officer. But if you would like to do the Office of Open Records, you are more than welcome to it.
I'm not available long enough to be of a benefit for that.
Well, I guess.
What do you mean? You can do it at night.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. You can.
Run with me for about a week and tell me the answer.
And out of those emails, you would forward emails that
Yeah.
would be related to
It would just be,
schedule.
I would just come in and check the
Yeah.
secretary of GreggTownship.org's email.
Yeah.
and then-
We can just put a response to every email that says, you know, we're in this transition, be patient
Yeah.
or whatever.
So in the interim time, the office will be closed, other than the couple hours that you are in the office.
Say noon,
Right.
yeah.
So that everybody's aware, the office will be closed. We will answer your emails and phone calls as we get to them. The office may or may not be open in the mornings until noon.
No, it'll be open.
They open in the morning at 8:30, so it will close at noon.
Right, it may, but it may or
May
may
not
not
be,
be,
right.
depending on
Yeah.
what your schedule is.
Yeah.
So feel free to contact us, other means as well.
When does that start? When does hours change?
Her last day is tomorrow, so next week. Anything you want to take on in the transition?
Well, because of some situations I'm dealing with right now, I'm pretty much tied for a little bit.
Okay. So it's advertised, applications are.
Do we need to make any kind of motion or decision about interviews, David, or do they just?
That's what I was
Oh,
just
sorry.
gonna talk about,
Yeah.
when we want to do interviews. So the advertisement was for applicants through December 21st, which is next Friday
At noon.
at noon.
I think you need to announce an executive session relating to it, you don't need to advertise.
Okay.
Oh, we don't need to talk about when we're going to have it.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't need to be a public meeting
Right,
to
to do the interviews,
Right.
I
right.
guess you should just decide in your schedules when you want to actually throw these together, and then someone's going to have to contact
Right.
them, I'm sorry.
Well,
I can't do it.
do you want to do it the following Monday, or is that too close to
That's
Christmas?
Christmas Eve. So you might not want to do it that
23rd?
day.
The 21st is Friday, yes, right.
Um,
No, that wouldn't be good.
No.
I really don't want to do it that week after Christmas. My kids are home, and we have court already on the 28th. But we probably need to get some.
Yeah, the sooner the better, yeah.
So we could do Thursday, the 27th.
Okay.
I don't remember what time we did. 6? We start interviews at 6?
I mean, we have, you can do them whenever you want, I'm sure they'll come.
27th work for you? Yeah,
Sure, John.
Sure.
Charles,
27th? I'm fine. What time?
starting at 6?
That's fine.
So that's the executive session you're talking about, these interviews, right? Okay.
Right. Unless you want it to be a public meeting.
I don't have anything to do with
That's
it.
it. No,
No, you
executive
would not
session.
want that.
And just add it to the minutes for the next meeting
Right.
to
Not
reflect that it was
okay.
public.
Okay. I'll announce it and then you can announce it again.
Yeah, you won't, because you won't. Whoever's doing minutes is on point. How does that work?
I
Who
mean,
does
if you,
minutes?
you
One of
could
us
get a
have to do
recording
it.
secretary that will come back. I mean, you could not, you, like we've hired Becky Weiss to come in to do recording secretary. You can get anybody that will sign their name at the bottom, but you could probably, the problem with the January 7th meeting is that every township across the state has the same time. If it were a different board meeting, I could get somebody from another township to come and fill in to do the minutes, to do the meeting, but they're all gonna be meeting at the exact same time. So Monday the 7th is a problem.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Anything else on transition? Any questions, thoughts, comments?
Nothing at this point. I mean,
I'm sure there will be, but,
Motion to approve and advertise the 2019 meeting dates.
yeah, I'll make the motion and go ahead and advertise the meeting dates for 2019.
Second.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Do,
I will get that sent tomorrow.
do you want the February one to be on?
We've had this problem before. It's a really good date night. Valentine's Day, do you want to change it or keep it?
That's the only holiday, is
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Charles,
The next thing's
you have
Friday.
the Valentine's Day meeting?
No, I don't.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. Motion to approve gift cards and lunch for staff for Christmas.
I'll make that motion.
Yes, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
How much are you doing?
Unanimous.
You did say in that motion,
I don't know, what are you, is it normally
25.
25?
Yeah.
Right, that's what we had done before.
Yeah.
And are you doing it
Lunch for the staff will be on Wednesday.
December 19th?
That's what Wednesday is. Office computer issues. We came across some issues with the computer and its backup system. And we had a computer guy in here helping us with some stuff who said he would give us a quote on it. But basically, right now, our QuickBooks is backing up to the desktop. And the drive that we have associated with it is not sufficient enough for running a municipal system. So he said regardless of whether we go
And we
with him
fixed
or
the
not-
problem with the QuickBooks. It's not backing up to that anymore. It's now backing up to the C drive where it should have been. But now, I mean, it just seems like we need to get,
But the
you know,
type
we've
of
got
hard
so
drive
much
that we
stuff
have
in
is not.
there.
Plus, you should be backing things like that up to a separate, there should be basically 3 backups of that. On the hard drive, onto an external hard drive, and onto a hard drive that is not located
In the building.
in the building.
If you want.
So
What exactly happened to the system?
it was backing up to the desktop.
And then it, yeah.
And
there
then
was
it
some-
crashed.
Right, it crashed. So we,
So then there was no other backup for it, so we had to get it from the auditors and then re-enter data from
January.
January this year.
It's not really a lot of fun.
Yeah, it wasn't, especially for Jen.
Do
I
you
didn't have
have-
to do
Do you
anything.
have any idea what for cost we're talking, or no?
Well, he said that he would give us
he'll give us an
an
estimate.
estimate. He lives in Center Hall, I believe, and has family in Gregg Township. So at least see what it is he thinks we need, and we can see what that cost is, and then we can look at other options as well. But just wanted to bring it up and have a motion to get a quote for that.
You know, if it's necessary, I think we should, you know, I'll make that motion to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I'll second.
Any
Sounds like
further
something
discussion?
that's critical.
Yeah.
So the motion is to just get estimates for getting a better backup system for the computer.
Right.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Anything on correspondence?
There isn't anything.
No correspondence. All right. Before we adjourn, I just want to thank Jen for your time and your service to the township, and we'll miss you.
I'll miss it a lot myself. Thanks.
So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I will second that.
The next Board of Supervisors meeting is our reorganizational meeting Monday, January 7th. Thank you all for coming.